little bit about your background with quilts.
My mother was a quilter, my grandmother was a quilter, and I kind of resisted that, but I did help out since I was about 4 years old. I went to Howard University and I was a painting major. Interesting thing is my professors were the Afro-Cobra guys. And some of the originators of the movement were Jeff Donaldson, Wadsworth Jarrell, Frank Smith. These were my professors. And they were coming from the Afro-Cobra movement. They decided they were no longer going to be led by the old European masters. They were going to come with their own philosophy, which was images of African Americans using a bright, what they called a Kool-Aid palette. They didn't want to use the pale, muted Monets and the Manets. They didn't want the pastel palette. They wanted bright, bold colors. And so you're going to see in my work the Afro-Cobra combining with my traditional background with the sewing and the quilting. So I'm somewhere of a hybrid between a quilter and a painter.
How did you take that into the scale and this figural work that we see in your quilts today?
My grandmother was very influential for me. I spent a lot of time with her. So what happened was she was ill. So we knew that she wouldn't be with us that much longer, and I really wanted to do a portrait for her. So she had a small black and white photo on her dresser. It was taken in a photo booth in New Orleans on her wedding day, and that was about 1931. And so I made that her portrait of she and my grandfather, but bigger. So for the first time, I was looking at it bigger and more closely. And so was she, and I used fabric with that. I just used all cloth. Her name was Violet, so I used like violet fabrics for her hair. And I used a lot of lace, and she loved it. So that was that watershed moment for me, like, this is what I should be doing. This is what I always wanted my work to look like.
So tell us about the choice of materials and your choice of fabric and particular colors and how you lay out your work.
So when you think about me making this photo big, I'll blow it up to this size, life size, and I take a black Sharpie and I start sketching on it all of the lights and the darks and the mediums and the midtones. So for the first time, somebody's looking at it and you're looking at it intently. I'm noticing, look at the planes on this man's face. Look at the turn of his collar and the shirts that he's wearing. Look at how his jacket is. Like, this is not a nobody to make them life-size again. It's like longing for these people to be back again. And now, what if they're the same size as us? How does that affect like how we interact with that person? How do we interact with them now?